and I am Stacy Pearsoll. This is the Perfect Inspiration, and today I'm going to talk about how to isolate your picture and think of it in terms of layers instead of just one whole image to be edited. So let's look at this image that I took in Mexico. It's a gentleman dressed in his native garb, but what I'm going to do is look at it in terms of the subject, which is this gentleman right here, and then the building, the cobbles as a different area, and the sky as its own area. So I'm going to launch this image into Perfect Effects, and from these number of presets, I can give this image a unique look. And let's start with basic brightness. I am going to actually just look at the subject himself and maybe do a light mask on him, and I'm going to invert, paint in. Using my bracket key, I'm making my tool bigger. There, I'm just going to do a wide swatch there. And maybe it's a little too strong, I'm just going to back it out. And you can see that I had an edge. I'm just going to go up here and click Paint Out, reduce my feathering a little bit, and then come in here and fix my mistake. Not that hard. Okay, so I'm going to add another layer in my stack here. Close that down. Hit color correction. And I actually want to look at the middle ground, which is the building, and give it its own feel. So I'm going to hit Cool Shadows. Perfect. And I want to mask him out, so I have a couple of options. I can either use my bug and go this route, or I can use my masking tool, my masking brush, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to paint that out, just like that, and reduce it. Going to paint a little back where I missed. Let's see, just like that. Yep, okay. So we're looking good. Maybe I want his legs a little bit. And I can do a little less opacity here and just come in and feather that edge off a little bit. Okay, so we'll go back to the original. Now I'm going to add another in my stack. Hit cross process. Now I really want to amplify. Maybe that blue wasn't enough. I want to amplify the blue even more. So I can come over here to cross process yellow, and I'm not really sure I like that. Let's go cross process blue, and that's a little better. Yeah, okay. So again, I'm going to mask my subject out. I'm going to keep the opacity at 50% and just kind of roll over him a little here. I want it to look like the building's in shade, it's in blue, and I want my subject to be a warmer color because, as you know, warm colors move forward and cool colors move back. So if I can accentuate that, then it will help move my subject away from the background a little bit more. So that looks good. Okay. Now I'm going to move into contrast. And I'm going to do a Okay, one of the things I actually like to do on standard pictures is look at either HDR or landscape because these have a couple of cool presets that help give your image a certain look. I'm going to go here into Deep Ocean, and you can see that it brought out a lot of the detail in the buildings and also detail in my subject. So if I back it out and I show you, get a little vignette on the edges, which is nice. Now I'm going to look at the sky because again I want to make sure that I'm giving each section of my image the proper attention and that I isolate each and every one of them as if they're on their own. So I'm going to add a graduated blue filter here. It comes in standard. I'm going to give this a nice strong line so you can see. There we go. And I'm going to move that up a little bit. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to back off that strength because obviously I don't want it to be that strong. Go back in here. And we're looking good. So let's see about adding a layer. Yeah, that doesn't really work. And for me, I like to just kind of let the picture talk to me. I know that sounds really strange, but you know, it's an art form. It's not something that you're going to go in and say, okay, this look for this image every time. For me, I mean, I have presets that are my go-to presets for certain portraits and such, but if I'm doing street photography or more environmental portraits like this, I'd have to say that I try to create a new look for that image every time. I don't assume that there's going to be one type of look for every instance that I'm going to fall back on. And that's why I try to take my time with each and every image, looking at every part of the picture in its own way. Okay, so I feel pretty confident that this is where I want to be with this image. I'm going to actually go into the sharpening and see what we got. Amazing detail, that looks pretty good. All right, and I'm going to hit apply. Okay, so that is my image, and we can flip back and forth between the before and after. So that's where I started, and that's after my perfect effects. All right, I hope you enjoyed my session for perfect inspiration, and I will see you next time. Thank you.